What's the secret of the Omer? I didn't choose that title, but I will tell you what the secret of the Omer is. At least the one I'm going to tell you about. The Omer itself, what are we doing? What's the Omer? What is Sfiras HaOmer? The Chinuch comes along and he tells us. The Sefer HaChinuch explains. Everyone knows the Sefer HaChinuch, the book of education, written by, excellent, anonymous. And the Sefer HaChinuch, 13th century, tells us about Rabbi Yehuda. Okay, debatable, not so clear. Anyway, so he says Sefer HaChinuch about the mitzvah of the Omer. I have to give a shout out, B'Shem Amro, our good friend E.T.L. Goldwicht. I was speaking with him today. He shared with me his beautiful idea that I want to share with you right now. What is the Omer? What are we doing? It's when anybody has something which they love or they're excited about, so they count. They count. But the counting that people that are excited about usually is a count down, not a count up, and that's a classic question. So why are we counting up? Today's the first day of the Omer, second day, third day. It should be 50, 49. You ask a Kala, when are you getting married? When are you getting married? 1 month, 34 days, and well, that'd be 2 months and 4 days, good. 2 months, 4 days, 65 minutes, that's another hour. 2 months, you got the idea, 12 seconds, 11 seconds, 10 seconds, 9 seconds. You ask a man, when are you getting married? I don't know. You see the excitement, it's beautiful. Okay. But there's a countdown. There's a countdown. And when it comes to marriage, it's the final countdown. Anyway, but there's a countdown. But there's a countdown. And this countdown, so why are we counting up? What's going on? So what's the Omer? What is the Omer? What is the Omer? We're saying serious the Omer. You know, Omer is a measurement. There's another time in the Torah we find Omer. That's found by what? By the mun. Omer legulgolis. It's got to be a certain measurement. The mun. The manna that felleth and frometh from heaveneth. When the manna fell down from the heaven, when that manna fell, others known as the mun, this is an Omer legulgolis. What was this? What's the shaykhus? What's the connection? And the question the Gemara asks already is, so why is it that Hashem, by the mun, why did he give the mun every day? Why not like a month's supply or 2 months supply? Now, I don't know people's backgrounds here, so forgive me. I'm not being facetious. In all seriousness now, was that the right word again? No? Okay. I don't want to, God forbid, bring up memories that people have had in their lives if it's something which was negative of sorts. I'm going to speculate, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm going to hope I'm right. I hope I'm right that most of us in this room, or at least many of us in this room, grew up in a home which was either somewhat well-to-do or at least got by. Perhaps there's some that didn't. And for those who didn't, you'll understand a lot more than I will. Thank God I was very, very lucky with how I was raised in terms of there was always food. It was never like, God forbid, wake up and it's empty. But what about when a person wakes up and they look in their home and there is nothing there? There's absolutely nothing there. That's very difficult. How do you live with that? How do you function? But nothing's there. It's very, very hard. And then you wake up the next morning and you hear a knock on the door and you're like, kids, the old knock and run game. And you open up the door and there's nobody there, but there's food there. And there's enough food exactly for your family for that day. This is not a chiddush. This is just perhaps a perspective that I think when we learn about the mun, or anytime we talk about the Torah, we don't really think about what it was. No food, nothing. Zero, or in Espanol, cero, or you say nada, not to be confused with nada, which means to swim, same word, but nada, which means zero, nothing, empty, finalizamos, eso es todo terminado. We're talking about no comer, nothing in there. You open it up and there's the food. Wow, unbelievable, amazing. Next day. No more food. You open the door. Kids, knocking again. Open the door. There it is again. You're like, God, please stop these games. Give me a month's supply. And God's like, I'm going to give you every day. You see, because when does a person count up? You count up when there's growth. When a person is growing. It's been, again, God forbid, but unfortunately, or this part is the fortunate part, where people come and say, I've been clean for 8 years now, or even 8 weeks, or even 8 days. I haven't eaten, non-kosher in this amount. I've been on my diet for this amount. It's counting up. The things you work for, the things that are challenging and you need to work to grow are the things that we count up. What is Sfiras Omer? Sfiras Omer is accounting. We're counting up and we're appreciating, because we appreciate when we don't have. And then when someone gives it to us, oh wow, do we appreciate it. Omer la Golgoles, the man, was a lesson in Hakaras HaTov, in recognizing what Hashem does for us all the time. We're going to go into Eretz Yisrael, we're going to do it once a year, the Korban Omer. Don't eat that food, that new grain, until you bring this korban, until you recognize and you appreciate, and you're able to then go ahead and really enjoy it. Because without recognizing it, you can't really appreciate it. That's the bottom line. It's got to be growth and pushing and moving and working. Have you ever been in a relationship before for longer than a day or a week or 2 weeks? For the guy a week, the girl 2 weeks? Where that first initial stuff kind of wears down, it's no longer that lovey-dovey cloud 9 or 8 or whatever cloud you're on. What do you do then? Then you work. You got to work. We have to be counting up, and we have to be working towards it and putting into it. And the only way to do that is by taking stock and seeing what we have, appreciating what's there, seeing what it is, and really recognizing it. Someone will correct me, okay? I just remember hearing a Shalom Bayis discussion that there was a Shalom Bayis Vad where they were saying that Rav Chaim Shmulevitz used to write down every day. Correct me if you heard this. Correct me. But I remember hearing 10, and here's the chiddush. Excuse the pun, but 10 new things that he appreciated about his wife every day. Now, that's hard for me to understand. Okay? Not because I don't appreciate my wife. It's hard for me to understand 10 new things every day. What does that mean, 10 new things? I mean, there's only so many words in the dictionary. They say, what do you come out? Like, you just start going from the A, you know what I'm saying? My wife is A. Right? What do you go through? Right? But we go through and really appreciate. We really appreciate. Sit down and you got to work for it. In the beginning, it's easy. Everything's right there because the relationship is wonderful. Everything's wild. It's incredible. It's on fire. But what happens as things go on? Life sets in, and if we don't take time to take stock to see what it is, and we don't work on it, we don't start counting up, we don't start taking step by step, then forget about it.